Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rami, and I know I haven't posted a video in a very long time, but I have quite a few projects that I have finished making. Most of them are actually crochet objects. I haven't crocheted in a while, and this summer I decided that I was just gonna full-on crochet everything. I do have one knit project that I'm working on, but today I'm gonna focus on mainly all the finished things that I've done this summer. I started off making blankets. I have 3 blankets that I've made, 3 crocheted blankets for babies that I've made. One of them I already gave away and the other 2 are here. So I have links to the ones that I used the pattern for. One of them is from Ravelry and the other 2 were kind of a mash of just an oversized granny square with a pattern and then just one oversized granny square. Then I made something else. So let's start with the blanket I made from Ravelry. So it's called the tiramisu blanket. I will post a picture of it somewhere around here because I don't have it on me anymore. And I made it for my sister. She's expecting. She's supposed to have a baby in September, and it's going to be a baby girl, and I'm very excited to become an aunt. It was a fairly easy blanket to make, very simple stitches. Came out very pretty. I used pinks and whites, you know, the girly colors, and it took me I started at the end of May and I finished in July, like July 4th actually is the day I actually finished with all the finishing touches. And that was my first summer crochet project. Now my next one, I'm just looking at my Ravelry because I love to have everything set up and organized on there. So the next one was like an oversized granny square blanket. I was not following any pattern, it's just a granny square. And I called it the Sunrise Baby Blanket. So this is the Sunrise Baby Blanket. It's an oversized granny square. And the thing with this blanket is that I mixed acrylic yarn and wool. I had a little bit of wool left over from a sweater I made like a few years ago, and it was like this peach color with like little bits of red and dark orange and pink. I'm gonna hold it up. I don't know if you'll be able to see. That's my son slamming the door. You could see that there's like little bits of color going through there. And then I bought extra colors to match because I didn't have a lot of that. So kind of reminds me of a sunrise with like the peach and the pink and the white. So I named it my Sunrise Baby Blanket. This project went so fast. I'm shocked how quickly I made this. It took me like a week. And I was done. And I'm not crocheting continuously. I'm just like taking it with me wherever I go or in the evening. And I managed to get this done in a week, and it's so pretty. My next one is what I called the Pink Starburst Blanket, because I kind of combined several different techniques for this one. Here it is. There's a little bow at the bottom. That I like weaved in through the border that I created. So that's that. And this one is completely done with wool yarn. I think it's not a fingering weight. I think it was a sport weight wool yarn. I used 3 different colors, and I used a pattern that I found on YouTube for the initial square that's in here. if I remember which one I used, I'll link it down in the description. And then I used a regular just continuous granny square to go around it. And then for the border, I used part of the pattern from the tiramisu blanket, and I kind of made this. So it's literally just like a double crochet, but I made a treble crochet so I could fit like this really big thick ribbon through it, and just a shell border. So that's it. Everything else is just regular shell stitch, and obviously the intricate middle. So this is my pink starburst blanket. And then sorry, I made a start sleep bag for a baby. Now, I don't know if you've seen these pop up on Instagram. It's been popping up all over my feed, but there's these like cute little videos of babies like flapping around wearing this star blanket, and I'm like, I need to make one. So here is my little star blanket. I'm holding it upside down. I used wool yarn for this as well, and it's really soft. I had leftover yarn from the starburst blanket, so this, the white, is that yarn, and then I held another yarn, a white yarn, along with it. So I held 2 strands of about sport weight yarn together, so it's nice and thick and warm. And this pattern was very simple. I'll link it down below. I followed a YouTube tutorial for it. It also has a written pattern, but I believe it's by a different designer. But like the technique is the same. You make like a star-shaped point, and you just increase and increase and then decrease. It's quite simple. You don't really technically need a pattern. But you can use it, and there's a free one available if you'd like to make one. It has buttons that you make, or you could like buy buttons, but there is instructions on how to make your own, and I made my own with like the secondary color that I used. So it's just like, it's very simple. You just use a magic circle to create the button. And that's it. Very simple. A beginner can make this. It's literally just double crochets everywhere, and you just increase and decrease. Very simple, and it worked out pretty quick. It took me a week. I did this in a week. Wow. I thought it took longer. It's a week and like 2 days to make this. I told you I was in a crochet craze. I was just crocheting non-stop, making stuff. And this I finished in August. I finished this August 15th. So, and you might be wondering, why am I making so many baby things? It's because I'm gonna have a baby. I'm pregnant. I'm due in the winter, and I am loving all the baby patterns right now. All I want to do is make baby clothes and baby blankets and baby booties and baby hats. But I've already made 2 blankets, and I made this star blanket, so I think I'm good with blankets. So that's all my finished whips. Then I have an update on my Facet sweater. So as some of you may know, in my earlier videos I mentioned that I ran out of the indie dyed yarn that I bought at a yarn festival here in Brooklyn, and I had tried to contact the dyer for some extra skeins, and she originally answered me, and then she said, yeah, sure, no problem, and then she just disappeared for like 8 months. So I've been like wanting to finish this sweater, and I thought I would never get an answer from her, so I decided to change the pattern of the Facet sweater, and using like the remainder of the yarn that I had of the color changing yarn, I decided to make like the little posts that you have trailing down just in that remaining color, and then like fade it to white. as I had done that, I was maybe like 3 inches in of doing that when she messages me on Instagram and says, hey, sorry, I can send you the yarn now. I can dye it and send it to you. And I'm like, oh my God, yes, please. Because I really, really, really wanted to finish this in this pattern, in this beautiful yarn. And so I got the yarn, she dyed it, she sent it to me. I got it real fast and I ripped back the work that I did, those 3 inches of work. And I picked this back up on July 11th. No, lying. No, telling the truth. No, lying. The 25th of July, and then I started working on this on August 11th. So after picking it up and ripping back all the work I did, I'm finally at the bottom doing ribbing for this sweater. The problem is I can't really try it on because my belly's too big, so I can't tell if it's the appropriate length for me. I like my sweaters a little longer because I like to wear them with like leggings, like a millennial. But I think this is long enough. I'm using the small size. I'm following the small size pattern, but I increased the length by about an inch. So I'm supposed to make 18 inches. I went like 19. And I'm not sure if it's long enough for me because I can't try it on. I mean, I did try it on, but that's not gonna help me because it goes like, it's really tight over my belly. But this is the yarn that I was talking about. I'm just gonna show you a close-up. You see all the beautiful like changing colors. And I'm really excited to wear this because I will be able to wear it after I give birth, because I'm due like around end of November time, December. So I know I'll get a lot of wear out of this, and I think it's so pretty. I'll show you the actual yarn. This is the one I picked up that I'm not using yet, but this is what it looks like. It's like a blend of pinks and greens and browns and like rust coloreds. So it's been really fun to work with. What else? Oh yes, I have another little update. I've also been listening to a lot of audiobooks this summer because, you know, I'm pregnant. I don't want to go outside because it's too hot for me and I can't breathe. So there is 3 books that I've been listening to on an app called Galatia. I don't know if you guys heard it, but they have so many different books on there. And I've been listening to the audiobooks on there, and I have 3 that I wanted to recommend to you guys if you also like to listen to audiobooks when you're knitting. So the first one that I want to recommend is called Mad Dogs and Englishmen. So it is a historical romance that deals with dukes, duchesses, you know, the English countryside. Really my jam. I really enjoyed it. It was very well written. I had a blast listening to it. I would turn it on even when I wasn't knitting. I was turning it on when I was cleaning in the kitchen, and I really enjoyed this book. It was such an amazing read. I highly recommend it. Then the other book that I read was called A String of Murder. I will post pictures of the books and links to them if you'd like in the description below. So it was called A String of Murder. It's like a modern day suspense mystery. It was interesting. I liked the fantasy aspect of it because the main character, the way she's able to see a crime happen is she has to touch the object or like something that was with that person, and she sees like a glimpse of the history that is connected to that object. So that's why it's called a string, because she calls all these visions that she has strings that are connected to whatever this object is. So the object can have more than one memory. It could have like 3 strings attached to it. So that was very interesting. I enjoyed it as well. And then lastly, now this one is more so for the people that enjoy high stakes, risks, and smut. I'm not a smut reader, but this had some of it in there, and I'm telling you, like, I was very, very, well, how can I explain it? I was completely mesmerized by this story because of the way it was written. This author has a way of keeping you on the edge of your seat even as you're listening. And the way she described everything was phenomenal. I really enjoyed it. It's called Stockholm Syndrome. And I believe they're going to make, I'm not sure, but I think one of her books was also made into small show for, like, you know, the phones, a mobile phone app, because I know Glatia also has a app called Candy Jar, and they use some of the books from their Glatia app and they turned them into like TV shows. So I think she has something, not this one, but it's another one of her works that was turned into like a TV show. So this one is called Stockholm Syndrome. It was an amazing read. I really enjoyed it. Had me on the edge of my seat. It's basically about a girl that gets kidnapped for ransom, and how she's held hostage, and how she tries to escape, and how she ends up falling in love with one of her captors, and how he ends up helping her in the end. And it has over 1.2 million reads on this app, and I couldn't recommend it any higher. It was an absolute great read. I really enjoyed it. So those are the 3 audiobooks or books, you could read them as well, that I'd recommend listening to as you knit. It's gonna hopefully start to get a little cooler outside, and I can finally go outside and enjoy the weather, because it's been so hot here in New York. I can't breathe when I go outside. I'm literally panting after like 5 minutes, and I'm like, okay, it's over, time to go inside. So yes, this was my update, all the finished whips and the ones I'm still working on. And there are a few projects that I'm looking to start in the fall, but I'll leave that for a separate video for later. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you got something out of it, or you were knitting or crocheting while you were listening to it, and I hope you enjoy those books if you do happen to crack into the app and listen to them. So until next time, bye.